Hi friends, I have some things I want to share with you today, some different topics. This one I'm going to start with an article that I had read recently. It's about the last days of America, 25 signs, 25 different signs here of extreme social decay. Okay, let's get going. These are a little bit harsh, but I mean, this is what the gentleman wrote. He said, so are these the last days of America? Number one, we have come to accept that it is just normal that security goons at the airport should be allowed to touch the private parts of our women and our children in the name of national security. They performed the regular pat-down, and then the agent informed me, said he, that she would be using the front of her hands to sweep my groin. She pressed and swept across my crotch 3 times horizontally, 3 times vertically. In any other circumstance, this would be sexual assault. The agents themselves were friendly and smiled, yet I was still denied a public screening, and no witness of my own present for the screening itself. A second agent was in the room at the time. I had no reason to be angry with the agents themselves, yet I was angry, and still I am, at the regulations which require them to routinely violate men, women, and children in the name of a false sense of security. Number 2, police up in New Jersey say that a man kept his girlfriend padlocked in a bedroom for most of the last 10 years. Number 3, it's hard to imagine some of the sick things that people do behind closed doors. Well, down in Florida, one former medical examiner was apparently collecting human body parts. In what could be described as an episode of Auction Hunters turned reality horror show, authorities in Pensacola are investigating after finding human brains, hearts, and lungs in a storage unit they say belonged to a former medical examiner. Someone bought the storage unit at an auction last week and noticed a foul smell as they were sifting through furniture and boxes. Officials at the medical examiner's office in Pensacola say that the remains of more than 100 people were found crudely stored in Tupperware containers, garbage bags, and drink cups. Ew! I know, that's what I was thinking. Okay, number 4, a former 5th grade teacher down in Atlanta has admitted that she helped her students cheat because they were dumb as H-E double hockey sticks, and I'm not going to say that word, but that's how dumb they were, she said. Anyway, number 5, many debt collectors are willing to say absolutely despicable things in order to collect debts. One debt collector recently told a disabled military veteran that if he would have served our country better, what a loser, he would not be disabled and that he should have died. Can you believe they said that? Debt collectors? Anyway, if you would have served our country better, this person said, you would not be a disabled veteran living off of Social Security while the rest of us, honest Americans, work our ASS's off, one of the agency's debt collectors allegedly told the vet. Too bad you should have died. Michael Collier was declared 100% disabled after suffering permanent spine and head injuries while in the Army. As a result, both Collier and his wife received disability payments from the Federal Social Security Administration, which are exempt from seizure by debt collectors. Number 6, in many areas of the country, street drugs have become so powerful that they are pushing users completely over the edge. Of course, there is never any excuse for murdering children, but would any rational person do this kind of thing without being high on drugs? Let me tell you. A Camden, New Jersey man was charged with murder for allegedly slashing the throat of a 6-year-old Camden boy. Police say he told investigators he was smoking a combination of marijuana and PCP known as wet just before the killing. Osvaldo Popeye Rivera, 31, was arrested Sunday afternoon and charged with murder and attempted murder. Police say Rivera was trying to sexually assault the boy's 12-year-old sister, and the little boy tried to come to her defense. Investigators say Rivera slashed the throats of both children. Number 7. A school bus driver in Wisconsin recently told a 12-year-old boy that maybe your mother should have chosen abortion for you, because the school bus driver didn't like the Romney campaign sign that was standing in the boy's front yard. Okay, here we go. Number 8. We are continuing to see a rash of zombie attacks all over the nation. The following is one recent example from Pennsylvania. Guys, I'm going to talk about zombies after a little bit. I have a different view on this zombie thing I wanted to share with you. But let me keep going on this. Okay. Where am I now? Zombie. Oh, here we are. Okay, number 8, we're continuing to see a rash of zombie attacks all over the nation. The following is one recent example from Pennsylvania. A Doylestown man who was naked and bleeding profusely gnawed on a woman's head, all the while screaming like an animal during a wild neighborhood rampage, state police said. A beekeeper over in North Carolina says that someone recently stole 20,000 bees from his property. What would he do with that? Anyway, beside the point. Here we go. Number 10. Evidence of social decay extends to the highest levels of the federal government. Okay, just check out what some highly paid federal workers have been doing when they were supposed to be working. In 2006, the deputy press secretary for the Department of Homeland Security was arrested for trying to seduce online someone he thought was a teenage girl. 4 years later, the Securities and Exchange Commission found that 17 of 31 employees caught accessing porn at work since 2008. One for up to 8 hours a day. They were senior staff. In 2010, the Boston Globe reported that senior Pentagon staff were downloading child pornography instead of generating a media storm. The story died. Senior staff were watching the sexual torture of small children on Pentagon computers. And Americans were not outraged. That's because our media doesn't let this information get out. Just barely you can hear a snippet of something and then they'll just stop that right away. I said they just think the public won't be able to take it. You know, I think that because they know the public is going to freak out. Anyway, here we go to number 11. In a shocking murder trial in Southern California, prosecutors have played a tape of a former chef admitting to police that he slow-cooked the body of his wife for 4 days. 4 days cooking her. Wow. People are nuts, let me just tell you that. Number 12. The United States has the highest incarceration rate in the entire world, and many of our prisons are absolute hellholes. See, I said the H-E double stick. Anyway, holes. The following is what a former inmate named Daniel Miller recently told Business Insider about what really goes on inside our prisons. When they found out the black homosexual had approached me talking that homosexual stuff, I was told, look, you have to stab him or pipe him down. That's what Miller recently told the Business Insider magazine about his first experiences during 2 decades spent in and out of prison, most recently for robbery. The guys were there just to make sure I actually spilt this guy's head open. Those guys were the Aryan Brotherhood, one of the most famous and feared jailhouse gangs. Miller, now 38 years old, joined up when he first entered the correctional system in Kansas as a teen. He bounced around a number of different facilities after being released on September 19th this year. At 16 years old, I wanted to be accepted in prison. I would fight everybody. He grew so cold and so good at fighting, he became the one ordering attacks on fellow inmates, something that still haunts him. That's what happens to the people in jail. That's nuts. And when they put people in jail, isn't that to like change their mind and make them better or something? I guess I'm truly naive in thinking they might have some kind of programs in there that might actually do something to help these people. I guess that's not. Anyway, I digress. Number 13. A 7-year-old boy was part of a gang of youths that recently invaded the home of a 51-year-old woman and beat the living daylights out of her. Number 14, what in the world has gotten into our kids? Many of them have literally turned into little monsters. Look what these two little boys recently did to a church in Virginia. Two little boys caused thousands of dollars worth of damage to a Loudoun County church. According to officials, the vandals used the children's toys and art supplies to damage the sanctuary fellowship hall and Sunday school rooms. They also smeared food for needy families and their own feces and urine on walls and floors. According to the county sheriff, Tim Guider, all that damage was done by two boys aged 6 and 7. Whoa. Number 15. A former high school English teacher has been accused of having sex with 5 different male students. The most disturbing part is that she is a mother of 3 children and her husband is serving this country in the U.S. Army. Number 16 is you might want to think twice before becoming a pizza delivery worker. But tell you what, guys, I'm done reading off this list. It was really extreme social decay. And when I look at all these things that are going on every day, it sounds really terrible for me to even say these words out of my mouth, but I miss my mom and dad so much, but I'm glad they're not here to see this world how it is now. And they've only been gone, my mom 4 years now, and my dad a year and some. And you know what? I'm glad they're not here to see this. And I'm glad. My dad fought in this country, and the things even, well, I won't even go to how the military is. Anyway, here we go to another thing. I'm going to put the link there so you guys can read all the rest of those if you want to later. Anyway, here we go. I wanted to talk about this article I saw. Will the election results cause massive riots to erupt all over America? People are really threatening that if the election doesn't go the way they want, they're going to cause riots. So I don't know. I don't know about that, but I mean, if it ends up, guys, if it ends up so it was a close race, they're going to just say there's like election fraud, and they're not going to accept that. People just won't accept anything, and I hope it won't turn into rioting for us, guys. That's the way of our country now. I wanted to talk to you a little bit. I told you about the zombie thing. You know what I was thinking about zombies, and people are saying, and we know it's true, how there's people all like messed up on drugs and everything, and they're killing other people and eating them. And anyways, then I start thinking a little different. You know, you guys know how I am already. Like, you know how my mind is. So I'm thinking, America has been pushing people to put zombies in their mind, kind of like since I think it was a year ago or a year and a half ago, when the Center for Disease Control, the CDC, came out with that whole thing about zombie attacks or something. You guys remember that? I remember seeing that. I should have looked it up, but anyway, I was thinking about they're really pushing that, and then all these games that they have for sale now. And I know I have family members, I have kids, me and my grandson and my nephew and kids that they like playing the games to kill zombies. I don't like them doing it, but you know, what can I say? I'm the grandma. That goes to my kids to put their foot down or no. But anyway, it's a whole lot of zombie killing. It's a whole lot of that. I hate zombies, and zombies are wicked, and zombies are wicked. So my mind starts wondering, what about during the tribulation? What about the people that won't take the mark? What about they're just running from one place to another place, hiding? There's nowhere for them to bathe. There's no food for them to eat. What if they've hurt themselves and they have some dried blood on them or something? What if they haven't eaten in a while and they look all scrawny and their clothes are dirty and they're just, and you know, they're going to look kind of like zombies, I think. They're going to look zombie-ish. That's what I think. And especially if they have some dried blood. If they go up to somebody, trying to go up to them and say, help me, please help me, I'm so hungry, people are gonna be like saying, oh, zombie, get away from me, kill them, kill them. And they're gonna shoot these people dead. They're gonna shoot them dead. Well, of course, if they don't have the mark, they're gonna be totally, you know, hunted after. But I mean, seriously, don't you think people are gonna look at them and call them zombie, shoot him, kill him? Tribulation. I don't want to be here. I'm glad we're gonna be gone. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wickeder than, you know, what even Mrs. Soto could imagine. It's gonna be crazy wicked. But those people, everybody have to come to the Lord Jesus Christ now while there's still time. The rapture hasn't happened yet. The Lord Jesus hasn't came for his people yet. There's still time for them to come to him. And time to come to him. And, you know, then there's so much stuff in the news, guys. There's so much stuff we hear about. I think if I remember correctly, it was like more than 19 or more dormant volcanoes that have blown out, just blown out. And all these earthquakes that are going all over the world. I shouldn't even tell you how my mind is going on this, but what if, you know, I mean, what if this, what if, we never know the reason for the earthquakes. What if these earthquakes are so shallow and so down low? My mind started telling me the other day, what if hell is enlarging itself? That sounds crazy, I know. But what if, I don't know, you've heard, I'm sure everybody's heard of, that there's like different entrances all over the world to hell. People say, oh, there's, I know Perry Stone made a video about it, like different entrances, different underground places that go to hell, all underground. I'm just saying, what if under the earth, it's enlarging itself? Hell, the area of hell is enlarging itself. I don't know. And I don't even know if that's true. I don't see it in my Bible anywhere. The only thing I see is Jesus said that in the end times there would be earthquakes. He never said why. It's right in there, listed in the area of signs of the end times. But he didn't say why the earthquakes. And I always ask why. I'm just a why asker. I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to tell you guys about something. Okay, we're already into 18 minutes, so I'll make it quick. I got an email from a friend of mine. When she sees something cool, she mails it to me. Anyway, this one was an article that came out on the 18th, so just a few days ago. She sent it to me. It said FEMA ordered 102,000 boxcars with shackles in them, guys. And I'm going to give you this link too, so you can look under there. It's prisoner boxcars with shackles, okay? And there's reports circulating all over the nation on this, so, you know, there's different areas that are giving this, but I haven't really read about it like I read about it here. It says, many people have raised skeptical questions about reports of prisoner boxcars and shackles being sighted across America. Some people think that they are only reported originally through Phil Schneider in a Patriot interview, it says, but recently someone reported that research and documentation on the boxcars and shackles goes far beyond any kind of, you know, other interview previously reported. Anyway, it says a van full of eyewitnesses, missionaries traveling across America to evangelize and pray, stumbled across these boxcars in Montana near Columbia Falls in Glacier. They described boxcars, in this case painted black, with shackles welded into them and a modern guillotine at the head of each boxcar inside. Guys, I know, that's what I thought. Crazy. As they were photographing mountain scenery, they decided to follow railroad tracks into the wilderness so as to not get lost. This is how they came upon these boxcars with shackles. And then it said, I later received a report from Lee Harrington of Valier, Montana, who was a professional metal worker. He told me how in Glasgow, Montana, summer youth workers were employed to weld shackles into boxcars in that operation. They were then shipped west to Glacier and stored on remote side tracks, passing through the Blackfoot Indian Reservation in Cutbank. A local Blackfoot Indian, George Bullcalf, spotted these strange boxcars. When I interviewed local patriots in Columbia Falls, they confirmed that hunters often stumbled upon such boxcars on remote train spurs in the wilderness region. I then traveled to Portland, Oregon, and lectured in the home of an actual employee of Gunderson Steel Fabrication. The wife of this high-level executive called this meeting personally to make a public admission. In the meeting were other Gunderson employees who had witnessed the prisoner boxcars in the higher-than-normal 3-floor, 3-tier prisoner boxcars. She admitted that her husband finally told her that Gunderson was under secret contract from the U.S. government to produce these prisoner boxcars. She also admitted that Gunderson had a satellite factory for boxcars with a Shackles operation in Texas. And then I called a different colonel in Texas. Anyway, and told him about all this, and he replied, a friend of mine who is a metal worker called me recently and said he had gone to apply for a job that was offered in Texas for welding, and when he was told that it involved welding shackles into boxcars, he declined the job. I later interviewed Russian immigrants in this area who admitted that some of their people were working at Gunderson, and one young man, Sasha, admitted working on prisoner boxcars and described them completely to his Russian Christian friends there. The Russian community they now know about them, and they're very afraid of the implications. Many Russians still work there. Another source, Watchdog, a retired military vet with a watchdog group, described yet another boxcar with Shackles operation in New Hampshire, with 3-tiered boxcars fitted with Shackles. It doesn't say where in New Hampshire, so let me just let you know. All it says is New Hampshire. Now, I'll link you to the article. Anyway, metal worker Lee Harrington also described 20,000 Chinese prisoner boxcars with shackles and modern guillotines in the form of a 40-foot railroad container coming into America via the West Coast. They were ordered by the American government through a senator who visited China and ordered these items. Workers unloading them became suspicious and began to investigate and discovered these horrors from China. Such 40-foot cargo containers from China are now piled up along the West Coast, especially around Long Beach Naval Shipyard. They were turned over to the Chinese. I receive constant reports across America regarding these types of prisoner boxcars from former radio listeners and patriots all across America and Canada. I don't know, guys. It says right here, recently, a former high-level Satanist from the mountains of North Carolina, now a Christian and receiving discipleship, admitted that boxcars with shackles were indeed in the mountains of North Carolina and waiting for the hour of martial law. It's coming. The martial law is coming. He warned that many patriots and Christians arrested and secured into these prisoner boxcars under martial law will never make it to the death camps, that many will be tortured and sacrificed once restrained in these prisoner boxcars. You know, I see that kind of thing, people, and then I tell myself, Christians are going to be gone. Bible talks about Christ who saves us from the wrath to come. God's going to save us from the wrath to come. There's no greater wrath than the tribulation. I believe when it talks about these Christians, I believe that they're Christians in name only and not really Christians that truly love the Lord and live for the Lord. Does that make sense? Who don't really live for the Lord. Anyway, that's all I had to share with you today, but I want to tell you too, remember, vote for Jesus Christ. Voting time, have it in your heart that your true vote will always be for Jesus Christ. Okay, you got it? Vote for Jesus Christ. You know what? I would say, it might be harsh for me to say it, but I've said a lot of harsh things today, guys. Please don't judge me. The news is making me nuts. Anyway, you know I love you, but I would say, I think the voting has already been determined. I think the election's already been determined. I think the higher-ups determine it before it even gets to us to put our vote on the ballot. Keep your heart right with the Lord. Keep always in your heart, vote for Jesus. Vote for Jesus. Pretty soon he's going to be our King of Kings. We won't have to make a vote. The vote will be made. It's a unanimous vote. Everybody's going to love the Lord Jesus. Every knee shall bow and every tongue confess that our Lord Jesus Christ is Lord. He's coming, guys. He could come before the end of the day. He could come before this video gets posted. I love you guys. I hope you have a good day. And just remember the information I brought you today. It's kind of weird and wacky, but I wanted to put it out there for you. The thing about the zombies. Will people in the tribulation time, they can't get food if they don't have a place to stay, if they don't have a place to bathe, if they don't have a place to sleep. I think they're going to be kind of looking zombie-ish, you know, and I think they're going to be easy prey for whoever wants to shoot them dead. Anyway, I love you, and I want you to have a really good day, okay? I'll try to, soon I'll bring you another video that's more like upbeat. I know I was kind of a downer today. Anyway, love you guys. Have a good day.